How's everyone doing today, September 1st of 2022? Do you guys see that tomato right in there? That is the Dwarf Golden Heart, and next to it is the Dwarf Purple Heart plant. It's kind of had some falling issues, so we've had to do a lot of trimming on it, but this one right here is a dwarf tomato plant. It's about 5.5, 6 foot, but a lot of the tomato, a lot of that has to do with stretching and stuff like that from the issues that we've had with it growing. Angel's had one of these, but she never tried it. She just cut it up and I believe put it on a sandwich a month ago maybe. We grew one in our yard for a couple years, the past couple years in a row, called the Dwarf Lemon Ice. And in doing the video for the Dwarf Lemon Ice that I had put online on my channel, we had actually gotten a message from somebody from the Dwarf Tomato Project, and they were telling us because we don't really like the sour too much. We don't mind it in tomatoes, but in the Dwarf Lemon Ice there was a little bit of a sour flavor, and that's where it probably gets its lemon name from, is not necessarily the look of the Dwarf Lemon Ice, but the little bit of the sour, almost like a yellow pear tomato, or there's a few other yellow kinds that might have a potent pucker to them a little bit. This one right here was the one that the Dwarf Tomato Project person had recommended as being one that would be like the Dwarf Lemon Ice, but sweeter. And so far it's been probably a little less productive than the Dwarf Lemon Ice, but it has also grown a bigger, stronger plant though on top of that. So I think this is supposed to be really, really sweet. We're going to take it inside. I am super excited to try it. It looks like a heart shape, more tomato type, another new one to us that I've never tasted before, and from the Dwarf Tomato Project. This is the Dwarf Golden Heart tomato, September 1st of 2022, and excited to try it. Catch you in a second. All right, this is the Dwarf Golden Heart tomato. We've only got a couple of these this year. That's because of our bad growing situation, but really cool shape on these. And there's several more that are going. They'll probably ripen a lot quicker now that we got this one off. Really excited to give this one a try. The Dwarf Lemon Ice, our neighbor absolutely loves it. It's one of her favorite tomatoes. And this isn't the Dwarf Lemon Ice. This is the Golden Heart. And from what I had heard from somebody at the Dwarf Tomato Project, responding on one of our videos, is that this one should taste like the lemon ice, but without that sour flavor to it. So if you like a little more sour tartness to your tomatoes, completely can understand that. And like most people actually kind of prefer that flavor because it has a little more punch than some of the other kinds. But go ahead and cut this open and give it a try. Really, really soft skin, and I don't know if that's just from this grow specifically. It's not super meaty, so I wouldn't say it's necessarily a slicer either. We're actually probably going to eat this whole tomato instead of saving seeds because there's just one of them right now. We're big fans of saving seeds, if anybody hasn't heard yet. That is sweet. That's the yellow sweet. It does have a little bit of the zing to it, like I was associating with the lemon ice. Not nearly as strong, but I could taste flavor from that right away. Right when I started eating, it wasn't like a second and the flavor arrived. It was like as soon as it hit my tongue, there was a lot of flavor. It might have been the slice I'd eaten too. That is really good.
I'll do a half a piece.
That is sweet. The tartness.
It's very sweet, with some tartness to it. It's good. I like that.
I still have a lot of flavor in my mouth from that.
Mm-hmm.
I took a whole slice though and laid it right on my tongue, so maybe. But
it's very flavorful. It does have a sour tartness at the beginning, but it's also very sweet as you chew it, like a fruit.
I really, really like that. That would be maybe good in sweet salsa. It's the sweetness and the tartness with this level of acidity. It does kind of have a level of acidity to it too. Um, it'd be like the lemon ice would be a little bit like a lemon tartness, almost like a pucker tartness.
Mm-hmm.
This tartness I would compare probably to an orange. If anybody's eaten like sat down and peeled an orange and eaten the whole orange at once, there is a little bit of sour to oranges, even though they're super sweet and super good, and you wouldn't compare them to the sour of a lemon, for example. Grading on a scale, they wouldn't even be sour, but like oranges, if you eat a bunch of them, you get a little bit of bite in the back of your jaw with the sweetness of an orange, and that's how I can compare this sweetness maybe if I was trying to describe it. We're horrible. We're just trying to have fun and do these videos from our personal experience. So we're not professionals, so we don't know how to describe these things a lot of times. We just want to have fun with everyone and sit down and give it a try. And this is really good.
It is. It is really good.
I can imagine straight from the vine, eating too much of this would probably give me stomach problems. So
Yeah, a sour stomach.
yeah, from just the level of acidity. But the level of acidity comes with a sweetness, a sweet sour, than more than it comes from a tart sour. It's like this low zing in the back of your throat.
It's very low tartness. There's some there, but it's more sweet than it is tart.
So this to me has a lot of the flavor. Like I can still sense the lemon ice from it.
Yeah,
Not
me
from
too.
the sour pucker, but just from a flavor standpoint.
Yeah.
It is definitely a yellow tomato, and it's definitely one that if I was to lean it towards a super sweet, like a Hawaiian pineapple yellow tomato or the Barossa Moon or anything, I really couldn't put it in that category. I'd have to lean back towards the more sour lemon ice. But it's not so far back that it's like that. So I would say that this is really comparison. I know a lot of people probably don't know what I'm talking about with the lemon ice and this one and the dwarf tomatoes, but um, there's a thing called the Dwarf Tomato Project, and they are crossing varieties of usually heirlooms and other power plants and stuff like that in order to create plants that people can grow in small spaces and will be true to type seeds and come from heirloom varieties and naming them unique things and stuff like that. I know some people don't like growing hybrids. These are from established seeds. That means we're not saving from this tomato here, but we will save from any tomatoes that come in our yard that are from established seeds, because when you grow that tomato again, it'll be true to type. And yeah, this is a really good tomato. I'd say it would lean pretty good into a sauce, I think. If you're trying to get a rich sauce, it would almost feels like it would almost kick up the flavor a little bit without dominating it, kind of.
Be good.
But got a lot of yellow tomatoes in our yard this year. This is the Dwarf Golden Heart tomato. And I'll take you outside and show you the plant one last time. We'll catch you in a minute. Love you guys. All right, so September 1st of 2022, the Golden Heart tomato from the Dwarf Tomato Project. This plant got a little bit leggy back here. Taking a better look at it though. There's some tomatoes there. Several back here. So I thought it was a little bit less productive than I was expecting. One in there. There's another trussel back here. A couple back there. One right here. And that's under less than optimal growth. So it is a pretty productive tomato. Maybe just slightly less than the Dwarf Lemon Ice, but a really sweet flavor. I like the flavor of this one a lot better than I liked the Lemon Ice. But both are excellent tomatoes. Power plants. Really cool shape, a heart shape, really cool name, the Golden Heart. Really cool plant. Pretty productive. It's all the Dwarf Project tomato plants are considered determinants, but we have such a short season that we can only really fit in so much. So our season will start to end before this one would even be finishing production on the determinant varieties. But love this tomato. If it was between this and the Lemon Ice is a little bit more productive. This plant's a lot stronger. This one has more of a sweet zing like you might find in an orange, whereas in the Lemon Heart has more of a pucker that like you might find in a lemon. But both excellent tomatoes. Really, really happy to grow in this one, and almost surely to grow it again in the next couple years. So love you guys. This is another tomato video up for us. the Golden Heart, September 1st, 2022, and catch you next time. Thanks for watching. All right, each year as we start to get overwhelmed, we can't eat the tomatoes fast enough or use them fresh enough, or we save seeds from them, for example. That's what we do. We just kind of get all the excess, start storing it together. This one right here was the Dwarf Golden Heart tomato. We didn't save seeds on it. It's got a little bit of seeds in it, but that'll be all right. We just kind of put them all in here together. Sometimes we divide them. Sometimes it's just all the different colors are in just one giant bowl. Once we get a good enough grouping of them, we'll grab a couple of the peppers out of the yard and toss them in there. Some of the herbs out of the yard and toss them in there. Some of the spices we've got from our local farm market, or even ads from our market, like cucumbers, things like that. Toss them all into a big food processor and do a batch of salsa, which can also be stored for a while, or we could even can the salsa if we wanted to. But yeah, the Golden Heart, have to peel that part off right there, but just wanted everybody to show, once we get the excess, our stomach stop being able to handle the acidity of too many tomatoes when our season arrives and our horde of tomatoes start showing up in the yard. But this is not the Golden Heart. This is a mostly banana toes. This one is the Indigo Rose. Those are the Mocha's Cherry. They'll probably go into Indigo Rose too. And then the Black Cherry. I mean, we could throw a good salsa right here with just all these. Just throw them all in the processor, mix them all up, and then, you know, you can put them for storage or eat them with chips right away. But Golden Heart tomato, go with the Golden Heart.
Banana toes.
Indigo Rose, we'll go with the Mocha's Cherry, and then the Black Cherry ones right here probably go in our tummies. But they might make it into a sauce one of these days. I'm surprised these made it into the house, but love you guys. Catch you next time.